Intel Ultra has been out for quite a while, but we really haven't had much chance to look at it inside of a pre-built gaming PC.
Today that changes with the Omen 16L from HP, another pre-built that they've released to the market with the brand new Core Ultra CPU. Is it actually worth picking up though? We're gonna box it and find out after a word from today's sponsor.
As a tech enthusiast and dare I say PC building expert, there's only one thing that fuels my carnal desire for destruction, and that's seeing someone with unactivated Windows. Luckily for you, today's video sponsor gvgmall is here to help. gvgmall is an online marketplace with game keys and Windows licenses for cheap. The best part is it's extremely easy. All you have to do is purchase a key using code TB20, then just copy and paste the key into Windows. And beyond just saving big on game keys or Windows 10 or 11 keys, you also get to avoid my wrath. Check out gvgmall today and be sure to use code TB20 to save big on your purchase.
A little disclaimer to put out here. HP sent this over for review, not sponsored anyway. It's a sample for us to take a look at and let you all know what we think of it. But this PC can be all over the place in terms of pricing. The original configurator I looked at could be anywhere between $1,400, but then sometimes all the way up to $1,700 with this Core Ultra CPU, specifically the Core Ultra 7 265F.
Yeah, and much like everything else in this current market, I did notice the side basically says everything in this build, including the keyboard and mouse, is all made in China. So with tariffs, we don't know what's gonna happen. For all we know, we might release this video and then it's like $400 more expensive.
But the reason I'm saying that either of those prices are not gonna be great, the GPU is an RTX 4060. So a 4060 build, if the build is $1,700, is not good. It's not good value. HP has told me that when the inevitable new GPU comes out that would replace it, can't say the name of it, but when that GPU comes out, that'll be swapped in for this model, and maybe that'll make a little more sense, but again, that's still up in the air.
We get on a kind of a unique looking power cable.
Oh, it looks like something Apple would sell.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, it still looks like you can use any power cable you want. We have a white mouse here. It's not like a gaming mouse or anything. It's kind of a chunky boy.
It's kind of an office mouse.
Yeah, it's like an office mouse. I'm assuming the keyboard is going to be the same, which is kind of interesting for like a gaming lineup. I don't really know who else would buy this unless you're just getting it for like maybe heavy video editing or something.
Yeah, so
this looks like an old person keyboard.
There is a chance too. This is a specific reviewers unit that HP has been basically passing around. We're going to use it. We're going to pass it around too. It's one of those where they may or may not have some of their HyperX stuff because HP does own HyperX as well, and you could possibly buy those separately as well with this pre-built, like we've seen other Omens in the past. But this one just basic peripherals.
Yeah, sometimes that is an upgrade option on their website, kind of like when you're doing the configurator. As usual, HP's very small, very ergonomically packaged. Like there's really not much to them, just some cardboard, which is nice because we always make the joke. We did a video, can anything destroy an HP? We can do this.
Oh my God! Wait.
So that's always a nice price. Every time we get one of these, we just know it's gonna work.
And the cool part is they've been taking their Omen lineup and making it more compact like the Victus line, because the Omens have always been kind of big and gaudy. This one is much more compact and looks very sleek.
I honestly would have thought this was a Victus until I saw this, which is interesting. I think, is it acrylic? I think it's acrylic. Yeah, it seems like acrylic.
Yeah, it definitely is acrylic.
It's cool though. It shows like the little, Omen fan, which is probably going to be RGB of some sort. And then the front, it looks a little different than a Victus. It actually has airflow, it looks like. We'll have to open it up and see if it actually...
one fan right there.
Okay, so it does go somewhere. It looks like a 120. We got a headphone jack in the front, a power button. Some pretty fast. Look at these speeds on these ports. We got 4 USB 3s that are 5 gigabyte. And then 10 gigabyte. We got a 5 on the USB-C, and then that might even be Thunderbolt because it's 10 gigs, so it's pretty fast.
As you guys can see with that Ultra 7 sticker, we have the Intel Ultra 265F. I had to look at that because, again, we have not seen a lot of Ultra CPUs, and really, the launch from Intel hasn't been that great. It's kind of been a bit disappointing. There's nothing wrong with the CPUs. They just really haven't been promoted that much, and we haven't really seen them that much.
And in the back, it's typical HP. Very lackluster on ports, but we got our audio ports doubled, so you can have speakers and headphones. Ethernet, which is, I would hope 2.5 gig, but I'm not sure. We can try to figure that out later. 4 more USB, I presume 2 ports, and then obviously our graphics card, which has 4 display outs.
And as always, if you want to look at this specific model or other models from HP, there'll be a link in the description down below. I really do recommend that. It is an affiliate link, by the way, but I really do recommend you take a look at that because a lot of these models we do get, there is a bit of a configurator for you to basically take a base model, which I think they have one with the Core Ultra 5 CPU, and they sent us one with the Core Ultra 7, so it's a slightly more souped up version. But really, as you can see on the inside, it's a pretty traditional, kind of looks like a Victus tower.
Look how cute this little 4060 is. Obviously just takes a single 8-pin. We do have some XPG RAM, so data. And it looks like we got 32 gigs, so 6,000 megahertz DDR5. So yeah, that's definitely kind of hopped up because I'm sure that you can get it with single channel. What do we got for
Should be a 1 terabyte SSD.
Yep, 1 terabyte Gen 4.
Yep.
That's probably from HP if I had to guess. We do have like Wi-Fi that looks like it's 6E, so pretty quick Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Once again, this fan, I mean, a little bit nicer than like a stock cooler.
It's taller.
And it has heat pipes. Yeah.
So that's a little better.
This is proprietary for the RGB, which that's one thing we always get asked. No, you really can't swap much of anything from this. You could probably take the CPU, RAM, SSD, and graphics card, but you can't do a case swap.
I will say at this price point, I would have much preferred, especially in a case like this, like a little 120 mil AIO or something like this on the back, because this is kind of a lackluster cooler. Is it a 500 watt?
Well, we got 80 plus platinum, so pretty fancy. 500 watts, yep. Okay. So, I mean, you know, it's enough to power this, but you're not going to be putting like a crazy upgraded GPU or something in it.
That does limit your upgrade potential with this, but obviously with the 16L, they're not really targeting the high-end side of things. I'd be curious if they end up refreshing the Victus at all, because this kind of feels like a Victus replacement.
Ooh, we got some just kind of static white from the rip, which looks pretty good, honestly. Oh yeah, look at that. They even got the RAM configured for us. You can probably change all this inside of the HP software because everything is running to the board. It's very quiet. It's probably gonna be like most of the HPs we look at. Like I said, they're indestructible. They're typically quiet. They usually aren't super like hot, and they usually do what we need them to do.
And the fact that it has a little bit of airflow, I mean, as you can tell, there is perforation here, but there's no,
like blocked off.
It doesn't go all the way through. There's really only this fan that is bringing in air, but that is an improvement over some of these other ones. And I know, especially with mass manufacturing like HP does, it does take a little bit for them to make improvements when people suggest improvements. So I think we're finally seeing some of the improvements here. But again, it all comes down to price and availability. That is the buzzword of 2025. Let's go ahead and do some benchmarking. We'll do a little more deep diving onto all the prices this could be, because there are a bunch of different possible prices. And then from there, we'll decide whether or not this is worth it for you guys at home to consider picking up. All right, guys, we're gonna kick things off with good old Spider-Man 2 on this HP Omen. We're currently running 1440p with DLSS set to quality, which we'll touch on here in a second, running medium settings, no ray tracing currently. And the reason for that is, well, we have an RTX 4060, and we are definitely gonna be wanting to run DLSS if we're gonna play this game at 1440p. The 4060, let's be honest here, it's a 1080p card, but it can stretch into 1440p using some DLSS upscaling. And I will say, in modern titles like this, especially Spider-Man 2, or even like Monster Hunter Wilds, those games were built on console with frame gen and upscaling in mind. So the upscaling doesn't look that bad, but even then, as you can see, we're dipping into the 40s here. So it's not ideal, but let's go ahead and do this fight right here and see how the frame rate holds up. To be fair, that is the most demanding part of this game, is swinging around the city. Once you load stuff in, it gets much easier. But we're getting anywhere between 90 to 100 FPS, 80 FPS at times, and it's looking pretty solid. Now, the big elephant in the room while I'm beating these guys up, you know, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's finish this. Ooh, got him. Now, obviously, the big elephant in the room is the price point of this system. At the time of recording the video, we've seen anywhere between $1,300 all the way up to $1,700. And the fluctuating markets currently, it really is hard for HP even to commit to a price point from my conversations with them. So I would say if it's obviously at the $1,700 price point, I would not pick this thing up for that price. There are way better options, even currently right now, from other brands. If this PC goes on sale during like Labor Day or any of the major sales that HP has, and you could pick it up for around the $1,000, $1,200 mark, then yeah, it might be worth it. Maybe with the 5060, depending on what that card looks like. But currently, it's one of those things where performance is fine. It is a proprietary system that does have a limited upgrade shelf because of the fact it uses a proprietary motherboard and all that sort of stuff that HP, well, comes to offer. But I really wish this had a little bit of a lower entry-level price point because of all that, but given the market, I imagine everything in general is just gonna go up. So let's go ahead and do one more fight here. There we go. Woo! That was easy. Too freaking easy. All right, guys, so I'd say an average, I would say pretty comfortably 70 to 80 FPS with dips into the 50s at times swinging around, but as I was just swinging around yapping about this PC, it kind of maintained that 60 to 70 FPS mark. So I would say if you're gonna run 1440p, you're looking at medium details, no ray tracing with some DLSS. 1080p high is definitely a good 60 FPS experience, but hey, let's go ahead and run some other games here to see what's going on. I'd be interested to see what this configuration works like when it comes to other esports titles or other games that will stress the CPU a little bit more. That Ultra 7 just is an interesting choice with the 4060, but let's go ahead and run some other games and find out what the maximum performance of this PC is.
All right, guys, we are playing Call of Duty Warzone. We're currently running 1080. 1440p, that's what I was going to say. I was just testing you guys. We're running a balanced preset. We are using DLSS set to balance because, you know, newer NVIDIA stuff, DLSS works really good, and you don't really get like latency or anything crazy like that.
Nah, not with DLSS. If we're using FrameGen, yeah, it'd be a little bit there. But with DLSS, we should actually get some pretty good response times. We're unloading early.
Unloading, baby.
Woo!
Oh my god, dude, controller player almost cooked on me.
One thing with that Ultra CPU, by the way, again, this new hardware is just not working well with Afterburner anymore. I couldn't get the clock speed on the 265F on Afterburner. I don't know why. Because of whatever's going on with the clock speed, we don't have active monitoring.
Oh, you freaking butthead, dude.
But I'm thinking it's fine, but realistically, the more I think about it with this Ultra CPU, especially the 4060, it just doesn't make much sense for this pre-build, especially if the price is up to $1,700, which is what it could be. They knew you were coming back for that car. He did exactly that.
Oh my god.
Ah! Temperatures look pretty solid too. System's not super loud. It's not like screaming at us because it's running under full speed or anything. So very well put together system so far.
Oh no, they took my teammate out. Oh, that wasn't. Oh!
Somebody found you.
I'm just gonna take the L there.
That's, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the PC ran really good. It definitely, I'm actually surprised we're using as much of the i7, well, the Ultra 7, sorry. The Ultra 7 as we were, but, you know, that's a AAA title for you.
All right, let's run some other built-in benchmarks and wrap this video up real quick, guys.
Okay, so we just got done benchmarking this HP Omen, and you know, it did pretty good. It has some pretty high-end parts, and you are paying well over $1,000 for it, so you'd probably hope that you could play at 1440p in pretty much all the games you want to, but this is kind of like the normal pricing at this point. We know that tariffs have made prices go way up, so of course, you're not going to necessarily be getting these for like those HP Victus prices anymore.
Now let's talk about some other benchmarks and then give our overall conclusion of this PC. We ran Monster Hunter Wilds 1440p medium settings with DLSS, got an average of 69 nice FPS. CS2 1440p low settings, got an average of 407 FPS with a 1% low of 149. And that 3D Mark score is 11,181.
Hey guys, Future Matt here. You just heard that 3D Mark score, and I wanted to give you all an update. It is currently May 5th, so again, pricing is subject to change, but the biggest issue we were having with this pre-built is finding a obvious price for what it's going to cost if you bought it today. And I will say the price is kind of in between the two prices I was saying, because before in the video during the unboxing, we saw it as high as $1,700, and sometimes I've seen it as cheap as $1,300. But currently, as of May 5th, using the configurator on HP's website with Windows 11 Home, the 4060, the Ultra 7 CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, a 1TB SSD. We also have no secondary storage, the 500 watt power supply. We end up getting to a price point of $1,554, which using our calculations here gives us only a 14 cent per point, which is not a good price for performance. And honestly, at this price point, as we've talked throughout the video, it's not really a great deal. This video is probably just going to serve as a showcase for you guys at home during like their Labor Day sale or a bunch of different sales that HP runs, that this Omen, the Omen 16L, is one you should definitely consider if you're looking at the HP Victus already. It's kind of just a slightly better version of the HP Victus, same form factor and everything, just looks a little bit better and has pretty good hardware, new modern hardware. So $1,500 definitely wouldn't pay that price point, but if you do find it on sale for around the $1,000 to $1,200 mark, or if 2, 3, 4 months from now, this system has an RTX 5060 and it's the same price and the 5060 ends up being a good deal, then maybe this will be worth it. But I just want to give you all an update on the pricing and availability, and use that link down below. It's an affiliate link. It'll give you the best pricing on what you can get an Omen 16L for. Now back to the outro.
In conclusion, when it comes to the Omen 16L, it's an interesting computer. I wonder if this is going to replace some of the Victus desktops, because the parts are, again, higher end on the CPU and more budget on the GPU, and given the price variation, we don't really know whether or not it's worth buying this system or not. So it's one of those things where I would take a look at HP's website, using the link down below, depending on what time of the year you're watching. I know HP runs a lot of sales on their desktops. I have no idea if that's going to be the case this year given the current market situation, but always check up-to-date pricing and availability, and if you can find this thing around the $1,200 mark, it's not a bad buy.
But as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
So this PC is a sample, so it's going to go to another YouTuber probably, but you can go to PCBros.tech and see a ton of other PCs. I know Jonah behind the camera there has been very busy listing those PCs.
PCBros.tech, we sell gaming PCs, gaming laptops, and so much more. You just go ToastyBros on checkout. You'll save an extra bit of money, 3% to be exact. See you guys later. Goodbye.